All right, so second graders. So I had to make two parts to our video because my computer did something funny. So we've already done the word lists, and now we're going to move on to our story. And this is from lesson 27. And we are going to read some facts about whirlpools. So please follow along with me. In your book, I'm on page 134. There we are. All right. Facts about whirlpools. In today's story, you will read about a whirlpool. Here are facts about whirlpools. Whirlpools are made up of moving water. Makes sense? A whirlpool is shaped like a funnel. Here is a funnel. Here's a picture of a funnel right down there. It is wide on top and narrow at the bottom. So wide top and narrow bottom. Here is a whirlpool. It is wide on top and narrow on the bottom. So it's kind of the same shape as a funnel. The water in a whirlpool spins around and around. Something caught in a whirlpool goes around and around as it moves down. So, would you please, in your book, I want you to put your finger on the whirlpool and kind of follow it around. See the arrow? There's a little red arrow, and you can follow it around, and then you can go down, and you can kind of think about if something were caught in a whirlpool, it would go around and down. So follow around with your finger and say around and down. All right, it's kind of like if you have pulled the plug after you take a bath and you pull the plug and the water goes down the drain, it goes around and down. All right, so let's see. Our story for today is a giant whirlpool. Oh dear. Let's find out what's going to happen. A giant whirlpool. Now it was starting to rain. The small lifeboat was sliding up huge waves and then down the other side of the waves. Edna felt sick and dizzy. Up the wave and down the wave. Oh dear. Just then the boat reached the top of a wave and Carla shouted, "I see land!" She pointed. The lifeboat slid down the wave and Edna could not see anything but water. Then the boat moved up, up, to the top of another wave. Now Edna could see what Carla had pointed to. But it wasn't land. It was a wave, much bigger than the other waves. So as they're at the top of one wave, they looked and they saw something that looked like land. But then they realized, oh dear, that's not land. It's a huge wave. Oh my goodness. "Hang on!" Edna shouted. A giant wave is coming toward us." For an instant, everything became bright as lightning shot through the sky. Lightning. A boom of thunder followed. The huge wave was now very close to the boat. Edna looked up to the top of it. It was like a cliff of water with a white, foaming top. Somehow the boat moved up the huge wave, up, very fast. And now faster. The boat was moving so fast that Edna couldn't see what was happening. More lightning. Thunder. Edna had to close her eyes. She was dizzy. Oh, wow. Can you imagine what that would have felt like? Ooh. The boat wasn't just moving up, it was moving around and around. The boat was moving so fast that Edna could hardly tell which direction was up and which direction was down. But she could see that the boat was on the top of a huge funnel-shaped cone of water. The boat was being sucked into a giant whirlpool. Edna tried to say something, but her voice wouldn't work. She pointed down to the bottom of the whirlpool. It seemed to be hundreds of meters below the tiny boat. Hundreds of meters. Oh my goodness. Yikes. The next things happened very fast. They happened so fast that Edna was never sure exactly what happened or why. Oh my goodness. I wonder what's going to happen. First, there were large hailstones, hundreds of them. For an instant, Edna noticed them floating in the boat, which was quickly filling up with water. So much hail came down that everything seemed to be white. The hail was hitting the girls, but Edna couldn't even feel it. Suddenly, there was a great flash and a great spray of water. A great flash and then a splash. What do you think was the great flash? Yeah, maybe lightning? Oh, flash. The flash was blinding, so bright. Later, Edna thought a lot about that flash and the splash. Flash, splash. Later, she talked to Carla about it. The girls figured out that the lightning must have hit the water right in front of their boat. The lightning must have hit with so much power that it sent the boat flying through the air. Oh my goodness. So the lightning hit the water and the boat went flying into the air. Wow. So the only thing Edna really remembered was that flash and then some kind of big splash. After the flash was the giant splash. That must have been the splash that the boat made when it came down. It was kind of a flash, and then a big splash. The boat must have landed far from the whirlpool. Whew. The hail continued to fall for a few minutes. Then it stopped, and a steady rain began to fall. For hours, the rain came down. The wind died down and the waves became smaller and smaller. Finally, the rain stopped. Without any warning at all, it stopped. The sea was calm again, and Edna was sick. Edna didn't want to talk. She didn't want to move. She was dizzy. She was lying near the back of the boat. The boat was half filled with water now. Edna moaned. Ugh. She wasn't sure she knew where she was anymore. Please read the rest of the story to yourself. Find out 3 things. Find out how far from land the boat was when Edna looked around. Find out how deep the water below the boat was. And find out what Edna did when she realized where the boat was. If you haven't finished the story, pause the video. So where did the boat end up? Yeah, in the shallow water near land. Nice job. And how far from land was it? Half a mile? How deep was the water? About 1 meter. So if you stretch your arms out, it's about 1 meter. 1 meter deep. What did Edna do when she saw land? She got very excited. Land! She yelled. And why did she want to get on land? Yeah, she was so dizzy for being in the water and being turned around and around in that whirlpool, and then the flash of lightning and their boat, and then the big splash, and oh, she's so dizzy. Oh my goodness. So she wanted to get to land, but she has a long way to wade through the water, about half a mile. So she's got kind of a long way to wade or kind of walk through the water to get to land. Oh my goodness. I wonder what's going to happen next. Guess we'll find out next time. All right. So what is next? So you're going to read the story one more time on your own. You're going to answer the questions at the end of the story, complete your workbook, read for 20 more minutes. And let's see, in our workbooks, we have one complete sentence answer. Right, Bob? Bob wants to tell you that you should write a complete sentence answer for number 8. Number 8 says, can you read it, Bob? Bob's working on her reading skills. Hey, look, Bob. Bob just wants to sit here. Okay, so for number 8, the question, excuse me, Bob. The question for number 8 is, some things happened so fast that Carla and Edna had to try to figure out what they were. What 2 things did Edna remember? So you're going to write 2 things Edna remembered were. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, scholars, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.